I think there's a lot of challenges out there, and at the moment, one of the things that I'm talking to a lot of organisations about and talk to a lot of at a lot of events. One of the key things is that we're actually in the age of the third industrial revolution, which is the information age. And if you look back over time, the last couple of major revolutions have taken 80 to 100 years to actually really transform business and life. Information age really has only been around for about 20 years, so we're really still in that first quarter of that age. The rate of change with the IT solutions and technology at the moment is alarmingly fast. There's so much things that are happening, and if we think about the Internet of Things, that's one of the biggest buzzwords, but really what's it mean? And that's in its real infancy. But then there's other things around analytics. How do you analyse all this data that we can collect, that you interface with on a daily basis? Cloud, how do you connect it? How do you start to make that a secure, robust, scalable architecture that you can land, you can use with confidence as a consumer, but you need to be able to offer your services and interact with that as a business. And a lot of that, all these things really do need hardware enablement to make that a reality. So we're working very, very much with a number of organisations to expose the hardware and make those features actually build better solutions that are faster, but obviously more secure, giving them the ability to innovate over the top and develop very unique and different solutions. I think it's a well-reported fact that we got caught out a little bit by Apple, for example. They launched the iPad and the iPhone, and it really did revolutionise and drive consumerisation. We've learnt a lot from the last few years, and now you're seeing a lot of new technologies coming out that we've been investing in for a number of years, and now a lot of that capability is coming to the market. I'll give you an example. 3D camera in a tablet. You can start buying that before Christmas, and you might think that that's just a consumery sort of thing. So, but real sense, I just fundamentally think that's a game changer in business. So, if you could take a photo, you make that 3D, you can measure it. The usages for business people is like, well, what would you use it for, and how are you going to integrate this? And I'm truly excited by some of that. As a company, we need to do far more of that, and we are doing a lot of that. A lot of that innovation. So a lot of that was in the background, and I think what you're going to see is a lot of technology and a lot of changes that we're going to bring to the market through our partners, through the OEMs and software companies. But really, it's about how do we help that innovation. So yeah, we learned a lot and expect a lot more from us. Currently, I've talked a little bit about third industrial revolution. One of the things that we see as the biggest trend and one of the imperatives is something called SMAC stack: social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. And it really is important to understand the power of social, how to use social within your company, but also outside your company. How do you integrate with those sort of things? So that whole social thing is part of the next generation of workers. They will collaborate together in a very different way that you've possibly used before. They use a lot of consumer-based tools, and you need to think about how you offer services out there as a company, but also internally, how you start to use the new way of working. These people solve problems in a very different manner, using very different sort of tool sets than we typically provided as IT. Mobile is the biggest thing. Mobile's been around for years. It was 2003 when the first wireless networks were launched with hotspots, things like this. And now we just think of it as mobile everywhere, mobile on the go. But the rate of change with mobile. But there's still so many companies that still don't offer mobile services. They don't use mobile, and they don't support mobile in, say, their business internally. But also, an example, construction. Don't use much mobile in construction today, and people might argue with that, but there are reasons in construction why you don't, because of health and safety. So there are challenges. Analytics, so much data. We talk about big data, but really it's how do we do analytics? what data do we have, what do we need. It's the ability to think about the art of the possible. What would we measure and how would we use that competitively? And then finally, all this is going to be plumbed together using the cloud. How do I utilize the cloud as a delivery mechanism, but how do I use cloud to also, how does it benefit me as an IT professional? Can I put data up there? Can I put services up there? How do I get the efficiencies and scale whilst also knowing I've got the right service level? How do I know that it's optimized for my workload? IT professionals have spent years optimizing workloads. You can't give that away just overnight and put that to the cloud and not care about it. Efficiency has to come, security has to be there, and cloud over the years has to develop. So I think that's over the next 5 years, there's 4 areas to watch for.